Doctor Who Season 21. If you want to watch Seasons 1 to 20, there's a link up in the corner now. There's a playlist to every single one of those videos. So I'll start with Warriors of the Deep, obviously that came first. It was lovely to see the Silurians and the Sea Devils back. Obviously neither of them have been seen since Pertwee era, so it's nice seeing them back. It feels like forever since we've had a Base Under Siege story. I love Base Under Siege stories, they just feel it adds so much more threat to the story. I feel like it got too comedic at times though. I think if you watch it, you know what I mean. The way it just like, there's a joke every few minutes, or something that's clearly meant to be funny every few minutes, and it is a bit annoying. One thing I don't understand though is why can Tegan not close the fucking TARDIS doors? How hard is it? I'm not sure why the Doctor even bothers with trying to find peace between these two races anymore. The Doctor and Silurians, he failed. The Sea Devils, he failed. This one, he failed. Why does he bother? I don't understand why he even bothers anymore. Overall, the story was alright, nothing special. The Awakening, I feel like this whole story was quite rushed. It was all shoved into 2 parts, and I like that when only 2 parts are needed. I don't like things being dragged out to 4 parts if it only needs to be 2 parts, but I don't like it to be shoved into 2 parts if it really needs to be 4 parts. I think this is one of those. I like the Doctor's new costume. I say new costume, he's got a new slightly new jumper, slightly new shirt and slightly new trousers. Not really that noticeable unless you're really paying attention, but I feel like I prefer these variations. I like the way the Doctor interacted with a lot of the other characters, but overall the story was quite boring and I wasn't really fond of it that much. Frontios, I was not looking forward to watching this one. It has grown on me a little bit. It is an alright story. I don't know why the Doctor just believed the TARDIS has been destroyed when he knows full well it's essentially indestructible. The Tractators were just bloody stupid. They were essentially just giant dung beetles that could control gravity. Mark Strickson's dramatic acting was appalling. But like I said, it has grown on me and it is an alright story, but I've never put it up there with like Pyramids of Mars or anything like that. Resurrection of the Daleks. This is a fantastic story. The structure of it's confusing, that's nothing to do with the actual story, it's just the way it's been released and how it was aired. It's not clear whether it's meant to be a 2-parter or a 4-parter. I watched it as 4 parts, but I think I did get a bit confused because I watched it online. I don't know what it's like on DVD. Supreme Dalek looks absolutely amazing in that colour scheme. The black and the white is such a great contrast and it looks really cool on this Dalek, I think. The music was great. The infection looked really gruesome. I feel like the way the Doctor was walking around with the gun and the way he was perfectly happy to kill Davros, I feel like it's very out of character, especially for the 5th Doctor. I feel like it worked though, even though it was out of character, it did work a bit. This was essentially the start of the Dalek Civil War, which is of course expanded on later on in the series. It's a shame that Tegan left on such a low, but like I said, it was a fantastic story and I really recommend it if you haven't watched it before. Planet of Fire. This is the story where we actually find out about Turlough's past, where he comes from. But overall, the story was quite boring, it was quite silly. Then again, Perry in a bikini is nothing to complain about, I must admit. I love how they act like they see Chameleon every day. And I love the Master's TARDIS design. Again, he just carried on saying, I did. I love that, as you all know if you watched my last review. But yeah, like I said, I love the Master's TARDIS design. The way it's so similar but yet so different to the Doctor's, I think works really well. But overall, like I said, the whole story is quite boring and it's quite silly, and I definitely would not recommend watching it, to be honest. It's not that good at all. The Caves of Androzani. This is a fantastic story. Obviously, a few years ago, I think not the last Doctor Who magazine ranking, but the one before that, it actually won. It got like the best story ever. I love how the Doctor's essentially dying the whole. Well, I say I love it. The actual like reason of his death happens in episode 1, and throughout the rest of the story, he's getting weaker and weaker, to the point where at the end of episode 4, obviously he has to regenerate. Davison's performance is absolutely stellar. I think this is part of. I think every actor to play the Doctor puts on probably their best performance in the final story. I love how Sharaz Jek developed from essentially the villain of the story to an ally that we could all sympathise with really well, and I think it made the ending bit even more sort of upsetting in a way. with the way that the Doctor just picked up Perry and then ran off with her when Jet was essentially just about to die in this fire. Yeah, like I said, fantastic story. To be honest, I don't think there's any flaws with it actually that I can think of. And then we get the twin dilemma. This story should not have been part of season 21. We've had the season start Warriors of the Deep that had the regular Davison title sequence. We had the Fifth Doctor, and you had Tegan and Turlough travelling with the Doctor. By this story, you've got a completely new title sequence, you've got a completely new Doctor, and you've got a completely new companion. So I feel like this one should not have been put in season 21. It should have been shoved at the start of season 22, I think. And the case of Androzani would have made a much better finale to the season, because the twin dilemma is just shite. It's boring, it's cringy, the characters are badly written. It's such a bad idea having the Doctor strangle Perry. I know he was going through this post-regeneration crisis, I understand that. Every Doctor goes through a post-regeneration crisis, fair enough. But this was the worst thing to probably put in a story. And I suppose it actually promotes domestic abuse in a way, but no, they shouldn't have put that in, especially not into a kids show. Colin is a great Doctor. By the end of the story, he's probably one of the saving graces, but towards the start, he's written so badly. The way he strangles his companion just makes the general public just want to tune out. I wanted to tune out when I was watching it, it was that shit. But yeah, like I said, very bad story, and I would not recommend watching it at all. And that's season 21 in a nutshell. Season 21 as a whole, really good until it got to the end. Yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, leave it a like, subscribe to my channel, follow all my social medias, they're all in the description. So, cheers for watching, and I'll see you next time. Doctor? You expecting someone else? It's 3 eyes in one breath makes you sound a rather egotistical young lady. What happened? Change, my dear. And it seems on a moment too soon.